So getting headshots in Call of Duty can be difficult, especially in Black Ops 4. Hey everyone, it's Rage Gamer here, and today I'm going to show you how to get headshots easily. Now there'll be a playlist in the description with all the other videos coming soon to help you get gold, diamond and dark matter camos in multiplayer, so make sure you go and check that out as well. So first up, let's talk about the mode. I would generally suggest going for either free-for-all or hardcore modes such as hardcore free-for-all. The reason for this is because you want to get headshots as quickly as possible, and obviously for that you need to get more kills. And the way you get more kills is by coming across more people, and free-for-all has more people than the other team-based modes. I feel like the higher health that players have also makes it more difficult to get headshots, so that's why I like hardcore, because it makes their health lower than the normal game modes. Now in terms of maps, you want to be voting for the smaller maps, the ones where you've got lots of close quarter engagements, because again that means you come across more enemies, you can kill more enemies, and also you're closer to them, so it's easier to aim for the head compared to if you're on the other side of the map. For class setups, however, this is where it gets a little bit more difficult. In Black Ops 4 this year, every weapon has a different set of attachments, and so no one weapon will have the exact same class setup as another one. So I'm going to be suggesting a rough guide for each of the weapons that you need headshots for, and these include submachine guns, assault rifles, tactical rifles, light machine guns and pistols as well. And by the way, if you don't know what a headshot is, it's killing someone by aiming at their head. So if there's an attachment I suggest for a certain weapon class and the weapon you're doing doesn't have that attachment, try and get as close as possible to that attachment. So for example, if I suggest the hybrid mags for a specific class, your weapon might have the extended mags, so try and use that instead. If I suggest high caliber and yours has a long barrel, just use that. So for submachine guns, I like going for the ELO sight. This is a nice clear sight and it's easy to see the body and the head. None of the weapon is blocking the enemy. And along with this, I like to use the hybrid mags, so this means you can reload faster, and it also means that you have an increased ammo capacity. You're not going to be having to stop to reload while you buy an enemy, you're going to have bullets in your weapon already. And if you do need to reload, you can do it quickly. And along with this, I like having a long barrel, because submachine guns have a much shorter range than the other weapons, so if your enemy's a little bit further away, then having an increased range is good. Now, if you're going for the hardcore modes, I wouldn't suggest putting on high caliber, because you're only going to need about one bullet to shoot them in the head and kill them anyway. And finally, I like to put stock on this just so that you can move faster while aiming down sight. For assault rifles, I like going for the red dot sight because I couldn't put the yellow sight on it. And as well as this, I would put on the hybrid mags and quick draw so you can aim in faster after running. And I'd have stock to go with this as well. For tactical rifles, it's a similar picture. We've got a red dot sight, quick draw grip, high caliber, and hybrid mags as well. And for light machine guns, I'd go for the red dot sight, extended mags, quick draw and stock. And finally for pistols, I generally like to go for the red dot sight, quick draw grip, long barrel and extended mags. But again, some of these attachments may vary depending on the weapon specifically. Now as well as this, I like to keep everything else in the class the same. So no matter whether you have submachine guns, assault rifles, whatever you have, I like having scavenger as perk 1, and this is because you can pick up ammo. So if you've gone through ammo trying to shoot other enemies and you're still alive, you can pick up some more ammo when you run over those packs on the floor, and you're never going to run out of bullets when you need to get headshots, so that's really good. For perk 2, I like using gung ho because it means you can recover faster from sprinting, so you can aim out sight faster, and you're more likely to be able to react quicker and kill the enemy. And finally perk 3, I like using tracker because you can see enemies' footsteps on the ground and you can follow them around, and if they don't know you're there, it's easy to just go up behind them and get a headshot on them, so that's really good and I like that. And because you're in hardcore, you've got so little health, so sometimes if an enemy dashes off somewhere and you're following them and you're not sure where they're going, there's no chance that they can, jump out and surprise you because you can see their footsteps. If you're following this setup, you'll need obviously to use a wild card, either a primary gunfighter or a secondary gunfighter wild card to get a sight plus 3 attachments. Now some quick extra tips. The first thing is for specialists, I would either use Prophet or Recon, and the reason for this is because if you were going to use Prophet, he's got a little seeker mine, and that's going to follow around an enemy and electrocute them. And if they don't hold square in time, and often they won't, they'll get zapped, which means they'll be frozen on the spot, in which case you can come up and just shoot them in the head because they'll be still. So it's easy to get a headshot on a target that's not moving. You've got to keep quite close to the seeker mine because it can easily go off and then you'll lose it. So just be aware of that. He also has the Tempest rifle, but this isn't really that helpful towards getting headshots, so I would just ignore that. If you're going to go for Recon, on the other hand, he's got a sensor dart which you can put down somewhere where enemies will go by, and if anyone's there, you can see them, come up to them and shoot them in the head. He's also got vision pulse, which is really good, so if you activate that and you're near enemies, you can find them. They normally won't suspect you, so you can run up to them and kill them as well. So that's quite a nice one, but it just depends on people's preferences. And on a similar note, I forgot to mention that in the class I would add equipment charge as a piece of gear. Now it costs a point, so for that you'd obviously have to get rid of your secondary weapon, but it's useful because you can obviously charge the equipment faster, so you can get more of them in a game. Depending on the specialist, normally 3 to 4. So for example, you can get 3 to 4 of those seeker mines per game, and more of those little sensor darts as well. So it just means you have more chances of getting headshots, so it's quite useful to go for that piece of gear. You could use something else like the stim shot, which will help you heal faster, but I find there's very little time in hardcore modes especially where I will need to regen health, because I normally just either die or I don't. And I don't seem to find body armor that useful, even in hardcore modes. For score streaks, you want to be going for non-lethal score streaks, so it doesn't take away from the kills you're getting for the headshots. So when I say non-lethal, I'm talking about things like UAV, counter UAV, and a care package. Now, you can go for lethal score streaks if you want, but it just means if you earn them and you use them, it takes away from the kills you can get otherwise for headshots, so best not to do so. Finally, a few little tips. When you're going around corners or upstairs, you want to be always focused and predicting where someone's head would be. So saying to yourself, okay, well, if an enemy were to come around the corner right now, how tall would they be and where would their head be? And you always want to stay focused near that point so that if someone does come, you're pretty much aiming at their head. You just need to adjust it slightly and then shoot at their head, and hopefully you'll get the kill. Now, it's obviously not always this easy, but it generally does help if you try and do that as much as possible. As well as this, when you're going around the map, if you're near the spawn point, have a check in there, see if there's anyone inactive, because sometimes there'll be someone that's gone off for a minute and they're just standing there or whatever, and it's just easy to get a kill on them. And if there's someone lying on the floor, sometimes there'll be people lying on the floor and watching out a doorway or something. If you come up behind them, you can easily just aim at their head and shoot them. So that's a good way as well. Watch out for that. And my final two other favourite things for getting headshots is people that are like hiding behind either a box or, you know, upstairs in a window in a building or something. And it's good for two reasons. First of all, if they're inside looking out through the window, it means the window ledge cuts off most of their body and you can pretty much just aim at their head anyway, so it's easier to, you know, aim where you need to. But at the same time, if they're looking out a window and you can come up behind them because they haven't seen you, you know, they're not even looking, they're staying still, it's easy to get a headshot on them. So those are some easy ways in games to get headshots. I'm going to be doing a video soon talking about the best maps and places to get headshots, so look out for that. And if you guys found this useful, feel free to leave a like and obviously subscribe for more videos. And finally, if there's anything I've missed or any other tips you've got, I'd love to hear them down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on the new game, and thanks very much guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.